The future of humanity is in your hands. Don't screw it up. Many of us focus on improving the conditions of business in one way or the other. Incorporating artificial intelligence is one way to do that. There's a lot of talk about building trustworthy AI systems of the future. But I think we will have to contend with an even bigger problem. How do you infuse AI with human values so they don't turn on us, but rather complement our strengths and work with us? The pace of change is accelerating. We know this. For the first 1 million years, human progress was relatively slow. Perhaps we invented a few things, like tools, and discovered fire. Life was pretty simple. In the next 100,000 years, we became more sophisticated, using agriculture for food and creating art on cave walls. Was this the beginning of business architecture? Coming to think of it, my drawings are as rudimentary. But moving on. In the past 10,000 years, we invented clothing and shoes to make ourselves more comfortable. And we got to mention wine and wheels. Maybe that's when drinking and driving became a problem. In the past 1,000 years, we got the printing press and canned food. Maybe that was the start of social media of its times, sitting in the basement reading the newspaper and eating canned food. In the last 100 years, we got manufacturing and cell phones. That's when we must have introduced coupons and Thanksgiving sales. And as they say, to buy stuff that we don't need to impress people we don't know with money we didn't have. In the last 10 years, we got RNA vaccine and quantum computing. This seems to be an era where we invent our own problems, like the pandemic, and then solve them. As you can see, we've always been on an exponential growth. The time scale on the graph is logarithmic. It is just harder to notice when it takes a longer time. Humans have a hard time thinking exponentially. So let's explore the power of exponential growth. Suppose your employer came to you and said that you have two options for getting paid. The first option is where you get $100,000 per week. In the second option, you just get paid 1 penny a week, but it doubles every week. So the next week you get 2, after that you get 4, 8, and so on. Which one would you pick? If you think linearly and take the first option, that'll give you about $5 million in the bank after a year. Not bad. If you took the second option, and because you think exponentially, then you can buy companies, the whole company, Apple, Facebook, Amazon, Google, and Microsoft, all at the same time, and have some money left over. If you decided to work over the last 2 weeks of the year, you can buy all of the Fortune 100 companies in the United States. That's the power of exponential growth. AI came about in the 1950s. Moore's law states that the number of transistors on a device will double every 18 months, and that notion has held true for the past 50 years. When Apollo 11 landed on the moon, the computing power that was used could fill up the size of a big building. But that same computing power now sits in the palm of your hand in the form of a phone that you carry around easily. The computing power and associated artificial intelligence is growing exponentially and much faster than human intelligence. So is it inevitable that at one point the machines will have more intelligence than humans? However you may want to define intelligence. The point at which the machine brain exceeds the cognitive power of the human brain is called singularity. Some experts think it'll happen in 40 years and some in 100 years, but very few think it will not happen at all. Let's take a quick look at some of the bases for making this statement, comparing the structure of the human brain to the structure of computing chips. The human brain is made of neurons, which are carbon atoms. It's similar in property and behavior to silicon atoms that computer chips are made of. The human brain is housed in the cranium, which has a limited space, but the computer can be housed in unlimited space, it has no constraints, and therefore it can have much more computational power. Computers operate on a network that are over 1 million times faster than human communication to exchange information. The human brain, though, works in about just 20 watts of energy, while the equivalent computing power required of machines is 50 megawatts of energy. Clearly, the human brain is 1 million times more efficient today. But also keep in mind that the exponential growth of technology can catch up. If we assume that singularity does happen, what will be the fate of humans? How do we ensure that we're still the masters of our own creations? Will these machines be good and help humanity, or will they be evil and eliminate us? After all, they don't need anything from us at that point. Who will be building these machines of the future? It's us, our children, and their children. These machines are usually a reflection of ourselves, our beliefs and values, and our structure. After all, a lot of artificial intelligence is copied from humans. If the human builders have bad values, that's what will end up in machines. If they have good ones, then that's what will end up in these machines. So the future of mankind hangs in the balance of what direction we, our children, and their children will take us. So it's up to us to do a pretty good job of bringing them up with the right values, because collectively they determine the human destiny and directly you do. Building trustworthy systems is a requirement for business, but building systems that reflect human values is critical to our own existence. Think and talk about that with your friends and family. If you enjoyed watching this video, please consider subscribing. For a one-page visual summary of this video, please sign up on my website. Thank you deeply for giving me the motivation to do what I do.